Hello everybody, it's SHAZIZZ here. I want to tell you about the Dream Team. I got a YouTube channel, of course you know if you're a subscriber. And on my YouTube channel it tells me that I've got 7,632 subscribers. You wouldn't know that really by the video views and all that kind of stuff. And don't always make the best videos in the world, and sometimes they ain't focused very well. I'm not a cameraman. I'm an idea man. If you look over here on this side right here, you'll see I got a website up. It's been up for quite some time. It's SUPERCHAT. This is www.shazizzradio.com. This is a super chat room. And inside the super chat room, you got a radio player. Saturdays and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time, I do a radio show about mad science. And Sunday I do one over the Knights of the Round Table, which is about addressing world issues and talking about all the solutions that we have available to us. If you look down there right in this area over here, I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor. I guess you can't because I don't have one of those screen capture programs. Well, actually I do, but my computer's old, doesn't want to agree with it. But nonetheless, there's two chat rooms. One there's a SHAZIZZ Mad Science chat room, Awake Radio chat room, and down there you got TCT Radio chat room. And if you notice on there, I got some links there to like Russ from RWG Research. He's got alternative energy research that he does, and I got Zero Fossil Fuel, Mark Brash over there that has a live stream that he does real-time experiments with. And there's also a link to TCT's radio where you can click here to listen to their broadcasts and stuff like that. And there's also a Facebook share button down here. Doggone, thing's getting all blurry on me. There's also a Facebook share button down here where you can share this with your friends on your social media network. And there's links to podcasts and all kinds of other stuff all over this website. And essentially, this website's about ideas. It's about gathering the most brilliant minds from around the world to get things accomplished. I'm not a very good manufacturer. I don't have the craftsmanship that people out there like Sky Collection's got. He's really good. And Deeds, he's another alternative energy guy out there. And Ryan Abrams and so many different ones. Terry Woodruff. Some of these guys out there do some really cool stuff in alternative energy. And the whole concept for this website that I've got going on right here is to try to bring to the table all the brilliant minds from around the world to accomplish a goal that the mainstream media told us, the government told us, the people told us. They said that there was a need for clean, renewable, alternative energy. And at the top of my YouTube channel, you'll see over here it says Mad Science Home of High Voltage, and it talks about in search for free energy. Now, I don't want to get in an argument with everybody out there that people think, oh, free energy doesn't exist, but when's the last time you got a bill from the sun or the wind for that matter? All over this planet there's hydroelectric dams, there's thermal vents from volcanoes and lightning going off 24 hours a day. See, nature's provided every single thing necessary to have clean, renewable, alternative energy that would work in perfect harmony with nature. And so over here on my YouTube channel, I've been doing this since, man, it seems like, I'll have to look at the date. Let me click over here. See when the actual date was I started this YouTube channel. Let's see. It says I joined October 16th, 2007. And from that point on, I started putting videos together, and I started sharing all these ideas with people and trying to show them something in the background under the radar of the the power structure out there, because we've seen that all the other researchers prior, that guys like Tesla and Stan Myers and all them, that they didn't really fare so well, because there's a seems to be a fight against what they said we needed. There seems to be a fight against alternative energy, free energy, whatever you want to call it. And some folks out there are so frustrating because they they're stuck in the book. They're not willing to step outside the box and question the norm. They're not willing to take the pieces of the puzzle and rearrange them to make things work right. It's so easy to say it's not possible. You can walk away easier by saying it's not possible because of the laws of physics. What I talk about here on my YouTube channel, and I'm sorry you can't see that very well there, because like I said, I don't have no screen capture software. But what I talk about on my YouTube channel isn't trying to defy the known laws of physics. It's not trying to get over unity or 0 point. Energy is free. The equipment to tap into that energy, of course, you're going to have to pay for it, and you're going to have to build it and that kind of stuff right there. So the whole idea of the Dream Team was to gather everybody I could over here on SHAZIZZradio.com on the Super Chat deal, and get them on Skype, and we talk with each other. We make some plans, we share resources, and we work together, and we resolve the so-called energy crisis. We don't have an energy crisis. We've never had an energy crisis. And if you come over and listen to me on my radio show, I'll explain all that to you. We're never going to run out of crude oil, so this competition between fossil fuels, the so-called fossil fuels, and all the people that want to try to go off the grid and that kind of stuff, it's never going to end unless we the people gather together and start building things that we already have the technology to do. We have every single answer to every single problem to solve all the world's issues out there. And I can talk and talk and talk, but an idea is just an idea until you put it into play, until you make something with it. And so with that said, I put the Knights of the Round Table together to solve world issues, and put the mad science together to talk about alternative energy ideas and stuff. There's over 400 podcasts on this website. It says that I've got 7,632 subscribers on my YouTube channel, but apparently they don't have access to be able to get over on the radio show, because in the chat room on YouTube, or not chat rooms, but the comment section on YouTube, I try to answer all the questions that people ask me about, and I can't get to them, but most of the time I don't even get the questions. YouTube's always changing something on there. Once I get used to how everything is and where everything is, they're always changing something, and it's really annoying. Between YouTube changing over to Google and vice versa, or them merging, however that came about, it really messed up the community where you actually had the opportunity to talk with friends and such. I got all kinds of different subscriptions to different people out there for everything from political to alternative energy, just trying to see what's going on out there in the world. And as far as YouTube being profitable, it's you ain't gonna earn a living on YouTube unless you got some sort of real big deal going on. If I go down here to my analytics, which I'm sure you're not going to be able to see because of the can't focus in on there, but I'll read out the number of what this YouTube channel has generated in the last 28 days is the way they got it set up. You can actually go back, but it's not profitable. In the last 28 days, this YouTube channel's generated $24.49. So it's not. You're not gonna be able to afford to build things. And I'm not going to ask people for money. I'm not going to ask you to donate to me and all that kind of stuff. There's a couple times that I almost actually kind of thought about it and tried to build something up to uh, consider that. But I'm not going to do that because there are so many people out there trying to scam uh, people, trying to sell them bogus free energy devices, or basically building up junk that they say is free energy, and then when you get to their website and you look at it and they find out they got hidden batteries in them or whatever, and they're just making a mockery of what it is that I've been trying to accomplish and what other people out there have been trying to accomplish. So it's complete and utter waste of time for them to do that, because if indeed the government said we got man-made climate change, which I disagree. All right, the government said that we need to clean, renewable, sustainable alternative energy, which I agree. All right, and I love nature, but I know nature's a lot tougher than what you think. Nature, the Earth is a self-contained biosphere of epic proportions. It's a thermoelectric generator, has provided all the resources and all the energy necessary to solve all the problems out there in the world. And that's what I talk about here on my Mad Science show. And so, with that said, the only way that this is ever going to get accomplished is when we the people decide to do it ourselves. I'm like an idea man. I got ideas after ideas. I got mechanical knowledge in my mind. I got research that I've done. I've surrounded myself with friends with other research, and we get things talked about, at least on the way to being worked on. But see, you're that missing piece of the puzzle. All you folks out there watching my videos and looking in on the stuff, if you want to support me in my effort, I'm not asking you for no donations. I'm not asking you for money or anything. All I'm asking you come over there and visit my website and look around and see what it is that I got going on over there. And if you like the radio shows, then please pass the podcast around. Share them on your social media network. That's how you can support me, because I'm trying to gather the dream team together. And so what I mean by the dream team is there's people out there with all kinds of talents and skill sets, and if you could get the right people and the right crew, you could literally build perfect running generating systems that will not pollute. Alright, I'm going to pause this video for a second because it's getting pretty long. It's going to be hard for me to edit this. But this is probably going to be a little longer video than I originally planned, because I'm going to show you a couple things before I get up out of here. So stay tuned. Peace and love. Alright everybody, I'm back. I apologize for the poor quality of the video. Bad lighting and all that. I'm not going to win any awards in video making, that's for sure. Anyway, what I'm trying to say, that if you want to support me in my efforts in order to give the world exactly what they wanted, clean, renewable, alternative energy, I'm telling you, we have every single thing necessary. All the science is there, all the physics is there, and all the resources are available. Not for one individual per se, because I'm not rich, but I got a lot of good ideas. I got a lot of crazy ideas. This little gizmo that I got right here in my hand. Now, if I sit there and I start to show somebody this, the very first thing that they're going to tell me is this: well, that's not free energy. That's not over unity. Well, I get frustrated because I'm not trying to get over unity. I'm not trying to get 0 point. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to defy any of the known laws of physics. What I'm trying to show you is how to take and use physics to your advantage. Like what you're looking at right here. Let's see if I get a little closer view there. Alright. This is just an idea and a concept. When the wind kicks up, you got these little fins right here, and you got these little propellers that'll start spinning because of the fins. Now, I need to put a 3-blade system on there to give it more thrust. But nonetheless, when the sun shines on this solar panel, it produces thrust, which pushes that motor pushes that around. And between the wind and the motor, you got several things going on right there. And using this curved reflective deal, I can get sun up under the bottom solar panels. Now, somebody said to me, well, you know, when you spin the solar panel, it's inefficient. It doesn't matter. I don't need it to be super efficient. All I need it to do is to kick it over the top of that hill. That's it. All I need to do is when the sun's out, the little fan blade is blowing, producing thrust, which is causing rotation and pushing that. And the wind will assist it when it's windy outside, but nonetheless, you don't have to just stop there. See, if you put magnets on the side of there and you use things like what lid motor does all the time and make pulse motors and stuff like that, when those magnets go across there and they hit a reed switch, and the magnet will help it pulse, so once you get the thing started, it'll try to keep going. And the whole concept of this isn't to try to find free energy with that idea. It's to try to utilize all the known laws of physics to make it as efficient as possible. If you're gathering sunlight, if you're gathering wind power, if you're gathering thermoelectrics, earth battery technology, even radio wave technology, you know, when a radio wave is going through there, you pick it up with things like germanium diodes. The more that you can compact into this system to bring energy from all different directions, that's how you get this thing to finally keep on turning by itself with just whatever's going on out there in nature. So this is more like a physics toy in order to learn and teach and try to figure out. See, it's got hard drive bearings inside there, computer hard drive bearings that are pretty precision, but my manufacturing skills, you could tell, there's just a little bit of a wobble in there. So if you look out there on the internet, and I'll try to find a picture of it, I'll post it there. You actually sell a similar gizmo on eBay that actually has magnetic bearings that it rides on. And so it's like less friction. So utilizing that technology with the magnetic bearings, utilizing the wind power, utilizing the thrust from this right here, inside there, both of these motors are connected to each other via a capacitor bank. And I got one motor that's failing on me over here because I bought these from China and they were pretty cheap. But nonetheless, when they're brand new out of the deal, because they're connected to each other, and once the wind gets to kicking up, that'll put power to the other one anyway. But once the wind gets to kicking up, it charges the capacitor, the other side's turning, and so the wind's actually assisting the capacitor in there. So there's no batteries in there. It's just using solar, capacitor technology, some motors for little airplanes or whatever, RC airplanes, and some fins, and you know, just a little bit of physics going on there. So it's an idea until it's actually perfected, you know. And so I put these ideas out there for everybody to try to give them a general idea of what's going on. The internal combustion engine, you know, we could modify the internal combustion engine to literally run on pure distilled water using every technology from air compressor technology to the way a diesel engine works, to the way a gasoline combustion engine works, and using things like induction heating. We could literally use an induction heater to heat up that cylinder to up to 200 to 300 degrees. Utilizing the pressure and the heat, we can get compression combustion, and we can literally burn water on demand in re-engineered. So these things are engineered pretty good for what they do, but they're inefficient because they waste energy from heat and friction and everything else under the sun. So we've already got the technology to literally focus that energy into the cylinder where it's needed and produce all the thrust needed to turn all the gears and such to run whatever it is you want to run. It's not that these engines aren't good, it's just that they're not engineered to be efficient. You mean you've got gallons and gallons of gas and it looks like it's going to be a never-ending deal, then why make it efficient if it works? If it's not broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. But if we re-engineered this motor right here in the proper machine shop, we could literally get this motor to use all the laws of physics to its advantage. We could focus the heat energy, and on the outside of the doggone motor block itself, you should be able to put your hand on it and not get burnt, because all the energy, all the heat is focused where you want it to go. And that's what I've been trying to explain to people all this time, was to guide this energy where you want it to go. It's as simple as that. And the plasma technology that you keep on hearing me talk about has nothing to do with the hoodoo voodoo version like Keshi's talking about, where you gotta love your reactor because if you're a jerk you don't get no free energy. It's not that. It's based off the mercury arc rectifier from way back in the late 1800s, to where you use a noble gas. Well, back then they used mercury. They had a pool of mercury in the bottom, and the high voltage AC would come in, it would vaporize the mercury into a gas, then keep coming in the high voltage AC, and then take that high voltage AC or the mercury vapors inside there and energize it into the fourth state of matter, being plasma. And so this deal right here is literally like a vacuum spark gap and a combination of the mercury arc rectifier, but it'll be charged up with argon once it's all sealed up and vacuumed down to its proper deal. Now you've got several things going on here, and you can circulate water through there, and using the temperature of that spark and the plasma inside there, heat the water up through there. And I can go on further, but this video is already getting like really long. But these are the things that I talk about on my Mad Science radio show, that if you want to ask me questions, join me in the chat room, and there's other brilliant people that come over there. You know, come in there and wait, set your alarm clock 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central on Saturdays and Sundays, and join me, and we'll talk about these things, and you can get your questions answered. But once this thing is all said and done, there's so many potentials that you can use this for. You could use it to basically heat water, or you could use it to prep the fuel before it ever goes into the combustion chamber. Everybody who knows anything about science knows that if you vaporize something, it'll burn easier and better and cleaner. And so imagine an engine where you have induction heating that's heating up your fuel prior to ever even getting up to an atomizer, and then goes into a vaporizer, and by the time it gets into the cylinder, you only use just as much fuel as necessary in order to produce the combustion via compression and heat. Water will expand, is what I was told, 1,600 times its mass. So that's a pretty good expansion. When you set that water inside there, you will cause the piston to go down, and as the piston is coming back up, the compression and the heat will literally start to separate the hydrogen and oxygen molecules, and at some point you will get actual combustion from just water alone. I understand the science of it, I understand the physics of it, I understand the mechanics of it. I'm trying to convey it to somebody out there who's willing to literally build said device. And like I said, I'm not asking for anybody to give me any money or anything. All I'm asking is for you to support me by coming over and sharing your questions and your ideas and your comments and your research with me on SHAZIZZradio.com. I've already showed you my YouTube channel. It's not lucrative. Matter of fact, with this website, all this is coming out of my pocket. I spend a lot of time and effort and money trying to address a question, address a problem, and give the solution to the world that we was told we had. They said we have an energy crisis. They said we need to clean, renewable, alternative energy. They said we need to reduce our carbon footprint, which I fully disagree. If anybody wants to hear my views on it, come on, or you'll hear me talking about it. Listen to my radio show. Come on the radio show. Add me on Skype as a contact and just join me. And together, we the people can solve these so-called problems. we're standing in the year 2017 and we still hear about starving babies in the world. That shouldn't be. We got everything necessary to take care of everybody. The world isn't overpopulated. The world is getting polluted hand over fist. And there's so much that I talk about on the Mad Science Show, and if I can't cram it all into. This is going to be a pretty long video as is, and I'm trying to speed it up so I can get what I have to say out. Either way, come to listen to me on my radio show. Come join me. Take the microphone. Tell me what your thoughts are. Let's work together. Let's build the dream team of all the brilliant minds from all over the world. This is what I've been working on. If you go back, there's over 400 podcasts. Half of them's Knights of the Round Table. The other halves are Mad Science. Go back and listen to what I had to say. If there's anything that you heard back then on one of them old podcasts that you want to question or disagree with, come on there. We'll respectfully talk it out. We'll work it out. There's other networks like Revolution Radio where there's good people on that. There's TCT Radio. There's People to People Radio. There's No Borders. There's so many networks, and there's links to these networks on the deal. So if you're not getting what you need on my radio show, then I'm going to point you to somebody, because to me, it doesn't matter who is the first one to solve the energy, free energy equation there, which we do have free energy. I think I've multiple times proven over and over, outside of actually having a physical device, that energy is free. I mean, we're surrounded. We're floating in a sea of free energy, and all we need to do is learn how to tap into it. It's as simple as grabbing the wind and grabbing the sun and grabbing the thermal and tapping into it in a way that we're not interfering with what nature's trying to do in order to keep us healthy and alive and that kind of stuff. But don't underestimate the power of nature. If you aggravate nature, nature will slap you down like a wet sock. If you throw nature off balance, nature will put everything back into play. And don't listen to the knuckleheads after telling you that the world is overpopulated, because it is not. And if you want to talk about that as well, if you want to talk about alternative medicines and science or whatever, then SHAZIZZ Radio is where you need to be on Saturdays and Sundays, and you might be surprised. We could teach each other something and actually get some things accomplished. I wrote a letter to the President of the United States, and I told him pretty much this is in as short a span as I could. More than likely, I will not get an answer or a reply. But nonetheless, I posted a letter out there for everybody to read so that you can see what it is that I said. I hope that you come and join me. Let me know what you think about this letter. I'm going to post the link in the bottom of the chat room, because I'm sitting here telling the world and everybody out there, don't be getting ripped off by people trying to sell you free energy devices. We can get together. We can build these things ourselves, because all the science is there. All the physics is there. Everything that we need to resolve everything. We got the vast sum of all man's knowledge at our fingertips. And right now we're sitting at the golden age of a crossroad, what we could actually accomplish if we really want to come together and do it. If I can't travel all the way to you, we'll get on Skype. If you got a network in your neighborhood, your network could work with my network. We could share resources, 3D printers, milling machines, and I can send you specs over. You could send me, and whoever is the best at whatever can build it. We can put these devices out there for people to measure and prove once and for all that energy's free, just like I've been saying. Now, I'm going to get thumbed down. I know I'm going to get thumbed down for this video. I always do. It doesn't matter what I put out there. People will always look past the deal like this right here. Somebody's going to tell me why this isn't good. But if you can take this little physics toy right here, and you can teach people about physics of motion, about bearing systems, and thrust, and wind power, and solar power, and reflectivity. You could take this one idea as far as you want to take it. You could take these deals and polish them up really good so that you got the best refraction of light onto the solar panel, so that no matter where this thing's facing, it's actually picking up power. And when you take everything you know about physics and you put the right propellers on here like they do with quadcopters, you could get this thing to have so much thrust with so little effort that it would keep that thing in motion. Now, this says that this thing isn't perfect because SHAZIZZ built it, and I'm not a craftsman. I'm an idea man. I'm a mechanical brain, and I see things and I try to explain things to people on how, if you build it this way, it will work. Give me a chance. Come on over there to SHAZIZZ Radio and try to hear what I got to say. And if you guys are really serious about saving the planet and making things better and getting off of fossil fuels, I'll show you how we can do it with everything that we've got available to us right now. I spend hours and hours and hours and days working on all these ideas, and I talk to so many people from all around the world who want the same exact thing, and we can't rely on the government representation or corporations. We're going to have to rely on the people. We the people, or my grandpa used to say, if you want something done, you got to get up and do it yourself. And I'm doing what I can over here, and I'm giving you ideas as fast as I can find them. And if you take all these pieces of the puzzle and you put them together, you solve the equation. That's what I've been trying to say. If you go back and look at my videos, you're going to find some crazy stuff, and it's for a reason. There was a method to my madness. But if you look hard enough in them videos, you're going to see things. And if you look past what the school book said, and you think about the physics, and you think outside the box, and you step back and look at the old big picture, and you say, well, what happens if I put this reaction with that reaction with that reaction with this reaction under here? What if I take, instead of trying to just have one thing like solar, I add wind, I add hydro, I add thermal, I add earth battery technology, I add everything that nature's already doing around me, including static electricity and radio waves, and it goes on and on and on. I could explain to you in graphic detail how you could take and make a completely self-contained generating system. When this thing's spinning around, it's doing work. It's actually charging up something, and I'm gonna get hollered at by the physics guys that says, well, for everything you add, you're gonna have a loss and this and that, and I don't want to hear from those folks. I want to hear from the folks. You know, Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And so if you don't think you can, then you ain't going to even try it, period. So I put this video out there. I'm trying to build the dream team, and the missing piece of the puzzle is you. I hope you like this video. Please stay tuned and visit me on SHAZIZZradio.com. If you want to support me, I'm not asking you for anything other than some time and some conversation. We'll talk it out and figure it out together. Peace and love, everybody. Take care.